Welcome to episode 14 of Galan Lithium Limited. My name is JP Vargas de la Vega. I'm the managing director and founder of the company. With me, as usual, we have Ross. Good to have you back. And I just want to make a little pause before we start doing our podcast. We've been doing the last 14 episodes at Coda Minerals, and they been really good at let us use this office, which is well catered. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Coda, for making this happen.
Indeed, we're novices to podcast recordings, and it's been good coming in here and doing these episodes. We're getting some good feedback, so it's pleasing.
Thanks, Coda. Now to the quarterly.
Yes, JP, let's start with the operations. Obviously, the plant and the construction and commissioning are front of mind for a lot of investors. So why don't we recap the quarterly and perhaps the new piece of news, just where are we today?
Correct. I started the year in Argentina. I've been to Argentina 3 times. Spent quite a few number of weeks outside. We proudly can say that we finished construction of phase 1. Not only the nanofiltration plant ticked, but all the ponds and all the work that we needed to execute phase 1. There's a few bits and pieces that need to be finished, but what I can say that during April, what has been achieved is all electrical tests, all dry testing of the plant has been finalized. All the cleaning that the piping needs to have done is all finalized. And in the next few days, we should start getting the first wet testing of the plant with regular water, with fresh water, followed by brine testing, just normal brine from the wells, and then the actual turn on of the brine from pond number 3, which is the pond that has a high grade content of 0.5% lithium content.
And JP, just for listeners, this isn't going to be a protracted period until we realise that the plant is operational and operating in accordance with expectations. How long do you think we need in time, roughly, before we get the assay data and the plant performance data to know that we are producing processed brine?
All of these critical month will be May.
Okay.
So we believe that by the end of May, we may be able to say mission accomplished in a way. And then we start the ramp-up period. So there are things I wouldn't know until tested, but if all goes according to plan, May will be the month.
That's it. And then, going all the way upstream, everything has been de-risked rather to that point, because the wait for a product is exactly that. It's just some months of evaporation before we get our final saleable 6% lithium chloride. But in fact, the product that comes out of the plant is the processed brine. It is the clean brine that will mature into.
The only difference between what it comes out of the filtration plant to the last pond is the concentration.
Yeah.
So if you take a chemical read of what is in there, you're just removing water from one pond to the next from there on, literally.
That's very clear. Look, and JP, we should probably also highlight some of the other factors in the quarter, and I think one of the notable achievements was the placement.
Yep.
So the placement, a $40 million raise plus $1 million of additional capital raise through directors. That'll be held at a EGM very, very soon, the approvals. But that was done at a time, I guess, in January, which was fortuitous. There was a lot of momentum in the market. We're able to raise money at a good price. And importantly, what that did is it gave us funding flexibility. It means that we're coming into commissioning now with a healthy margin of safety. It also gave us the capital to expand. So phase 1, we're not talking about phase 2 here, but expand phase 1 from what was going to be 4,000 tonnes to around 5,200 tonnes.
Close to the original size, yeah.
Exactly. So that is a clear step forward. It gives us some money as well for Greenbushes exploration, Greenbushes South. So key priority items were funded, if you like, from that capital raise. It gives us optionality as to whether we draw down that Lithium prepayment facility. It sits there on the shelf. We can draw it down if we need to. But things as they are, there's no requirement to draw that down. So we finished the quarter with around about $40 million Australian in cash, no debt drawn. It's a very healthy position to be in.
And we have options in the money as well.
Indeed. So there's a series of options which are expiring, and shareholders might note that there are from time to time some new issuances of shares in connection with the exercise of those options. So there's additional money coming into the company. And I mentioned earlier that the tranche 2 of the January placement is going to be hopefully approved by shareholders at a general meeting within the next week. So another round of funding into the company. So it'll set us up very well as we look ahead. It's our expectation that we'll be producing final concentrate and generating cash flows in the third quarter. So, really what does that mean for the company? It means that we're in a very strong financial position in the short term and in a good position to look ahead into an expansion of the project.
Yeah, we are quite excited where we are. And just on a side note, we do have options that are 35 cents converting, or they need to be converted before the 22nd of July.
July, that's right. Yep.
So I guess we can put in our website, just a click for people to download the form and can do that. The exercise price is 35 cents. So this is a reminder to our viewers and shareholders that, keep an eye on that, and we can convert those options for you.
Yep. And JP, in the quarter as well, we formally appointed Offer Amir. So that was a welcome addition to our board. And Catherine Garvey came on as company secretary, replacing Mike Robbins. We thank Mike for his 13 years of service.
No, thank you, Mike. Yeah, it has been there
tremendous contribution to the company. And Offer, brings a wealth of experience. He's a representative of Clean Elements, but he brings us a great set of experience in capital markets abroad. And we look forward to we are working with him, but we look forward to more of the same as we plot ahead to phase 2 funding.
Since last year, correct.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a busy quarterly, going through cap raise, appointing key people. We attended PDAC as well. I got invited to the Argentina Week in New York, a fantastic event. Was able to meet the Argentine president, as well as key federal people within Argentina. And now everyone knows who Galan is within Argentina. I think that was a piece of the puzzle for us that was very relevant. Also, we are now in a position to start looking beyond phase 1, and probably you could explain where we're at in terms of phase 2, that people are asking, well, what's next?
Sure. And look, this is the point of time, the inflection point when we start operations for phase 1. You can look ahead, and you can think about what the next logical step is. We outlined what that future might look like in a definitive feasibility study in 2023. There are changes from that definitive feasibility study, so we will make sure that those expectations are reflected. So when we commence a project financing process, we're very specific about the amount of money that needs to be raised in support of expansion and how we want that financing to look. But I think we've made mention before, JP, we'll be working with a project finance advisor to help us bring that money in. It's a process which will involve not only the fundraising but the offtake arrangements which sit beside that. The two go hand in glove with one another. So that's something for us to move on in this calendar year, and we look forward to updating shareholders as we go through that process.
It's very nice to be running this process when the price of lithium is $25,000 a ton for lithium carbonate.
Indeed.
Well, once again, thanks to Coda Minerals for this great room. Without them, we wouldn't be able to deliver all of this, and they've been fantastic as well to help us with the editing. So kudos and lots of thanks to Chris Stevens, our Managing Director of Coda Mineral, for their help and support. The ASX code is COD, so look into that. They're into copper, South Australia, and very well company to keep an eye on. So with that, thank you very much.